Hi YouTube. Hi everyone. Hi, how's it going? We're gonna continue on the series of the how Flightsim and real world Aviation mesh and mask and mask. Let's get rid of that word for that mesh and mix together. As the last series, you'll remember that we talked about how they really do mesh and mask. Obviously they can't physically become each other. Like, it can't be like Aviation now turns into Flightsim, and they're both connected together because it's in a sense of like how realistic they are. You really don't you have a problem with that. Honestly, do a short little video here of talking of the next step, the next idea is if you find a flight that you can do that the real world is doing. Maybe it's a GA flight, maybe it's a line flight, maybe it's a cargo flight, maybe it's a VIP flight. Realistically, replicate that if you can. Replicate if you can. Sometimes when my brother's flying before the virus, you understand that there's that new nuanced feeling of like, oh, my brother's flying and here I'm flying the same thing on my computer. It's pretty awesome, pretty amazing, and I'm pretty happy and proud of that. Interesting to know that there's this the last time I talked about like horoscopes, the aspect of the real world aircraft and flight sim world sort of colliding to each other in a sense of like you can do things, the limit is the limit, right? The end of the limit is the absolute limit, right? I mean, like, the sky's the limit, right? Basically, in a sense, you can do whatever you want. If you have a VIP flight, you got the same one download, go ahead, yeah, go ahead. And if you got anything else like that going on, go ahead, yeah, do what you can. I'm gonna turn this light on so you can see my face a little bit better. Here we go. Okay, so understand that there's these things that you can do and you can't do. I wouldn't try to be like, I'm a flight simmer and I'm gonna go now and have no knowledge of how to fly a plane, and well, I'm gonna fly a plane. You can't do that. But I'm talking about how you can take the stuff from the real world and put it into the flight sim in the sense of like you can find screenshots, scenery, right? All sorts of things that you need for that to do. Like I was doing last year. Speaking of this other one, last year in the summer, this time year in June, May, June, we had these two guys that were going across the country that weren't just like, I'm touring across the country because I'm supporting this. No, like two guys who had killed a bunch of people or something. There's some synonymous thing that they did, and then they were trying to escape, and instead of like, they searched all over the place. And one thing is where people saw them going to a store and then leave, and then someone saw them go in a different direction, and they seem to have gone into these swamps and woods and stuff, and they searched all over the place and looked like eventually went from like Saskatchewan over to Winnipeg to Manitoba. Then I was looking at Ontario. Once I heard that they were going in Ontario, I was like, okay, lock up the doors, make sure you. But anyways, I spent my time. I mean, obviously the simulator won't have the actual people in there, but I was looking to see like where they were, the town that they last looked at in Manitoba. I was like, okay, let's go pretend that I'm flying around there and just see what I can find. And in the sim, I found them, but in the sim, I can't physically. We're just kind of guessing at it, yeah, basically. And anyways, we were interested in, like, that's one thing to recreate too. It's how the real world recreates itself towards the simulator, or it makes it seem simple, right? I mean, I did a flight once. There's a tornado going around here, and I only had a few minutes to go flying before I should turn off the computer and get out of there. And of course, a few minutes, I'm like, I got 2 or 3 minutes just to see if I can recreate what's going on in the weather. And I think that's one systematic thing is weather. You can recreate weather. There are definitely a lot of programs out there, weather programs, system programs, all sorts of things that you can set up to make it realistically. If you wanted to go and do back in 1999 and 2000, I was planning JFK Jr.'s accident. If that's like, okay, oh, I can't go back that far. I'm sure you can. I'm sure in the date and time settings in the sim, you can, yeah. Go back till, I think the last, I haven't really looked at it. Like 1973 or something, or 1970 something. So there might be a chance to go back prior to that. So, and you can set, and the weather, and the time, now that's where you don't want to use your time update or your FS real time. Because the FS real time actually will update you to the current time. Right. That one you can just get the current time, that's the time you want it to be. And you're onto it, right? And then the weather program should actually update to them as well, right? So it's a very, very keen and cool collected little thing you can do. I really think it's amazing, and I think it's absolutely pretty great. Yeah. There's only 15 minutes in this video to record on this program, strange enough. But anyways, I wanted to just do a simple video of episode 2 of series. I don't know how to do the whole entering it on the YouTube tag or the title with like series 1 or season 1 or whatever. It won't be season; it'll be series. It won't be the first series I ever made. So I'm trying to ring around to this. Anyways, but like I wouldn't do it the other way around where you're trying to make the simulator more realistic to the real and putting. I'm pretty sure what's interesting when we look at what I'm really trying to get to. I'm sure there's people who are like, yeah, I saw someone do this flight sim landing or flight sim thing, and I'm gonna go try doing that. There can be a risk of like, oh, cool, I can fly a 747 into like a really short runway, like Swiss 1 did yesterday, right? There's some risk there. If you go, oh, I'm gonna fly a plane, and I want to go and fly into the same plane 747, I don't think it's going to work, and you might kill some people. So there's some risks on going the other way around. Some definite risks. Not what I was doing today, but interesting to look at, right? Interesting to think about. Right? So I just wanted to say a quick little update. You got to keep your balance on each side of these things, right? When it comes down to like, hey, it's a cool aspect. Like, I got someone a couple of years ago said something about, like, some guy's video inspired him to go do that in the real world. And it turned out to be alright. The landing was alright. They're not doing any crazy flights. And interesting enough, you can't just, like, in the middle of a flight go, bling, 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 and switch your airplane. No, you can't. But interesting enough, they enjoyed it. So there can be some fun to it. Just gotta keep your risks. Gotta understand your risks. Like, if I was to go, oh, land a A380 at London, Ontario, well, in the sim, you could probably go do that, but in the flights in the real world, I don't think it's going to land there. And if it does, it would hit some other planes. So there's some on taxi or on whatever. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen. So basically, keep it in mind. Yeah, and there might be not enough room. So keep it in mind what you want to do. Okay, keep that when it comes to like merging flight sim to real world. You got some risks, right? Using real into flight sim, you have some less risk because you're only using flight sim more out of that. The decision, the one is like taking. I can see where people go like, someone did a flight sim flight with like something that an aircraft I still have or same have, and I'm going to do the same flight and I'm going to land at a certain airport that I can land at. That would be fine as long as you can get out of it. As long as you're not making FAA look at you weirdly. Keep that in mind. Keep that looking in mind. And I'll talk to you later. Actually, I'm going to talk to you. That is a great idea. So just keep the risks too low as much as you can. Risks or the acceptability. We'll edit that part out to the lowest. Okay. And I think that's pretty much it. I was going to use the video recording program called from VSDC, free video editor, and they have a free recording video recording part of it. However, when I select certain like editions or like save it as a certain version, I'm like, not working, or it's not the whole, like the editing program still works, but this little application part of it doesn't seem to work properly. I think it might be needing to update it, or I'm sure there's a forum And there's also lots of YouTube videos of tutorials of exactly how you do it. And so there's only 15 minutes of this recording. This is the screencast version 2. You can either do the video and then screencast, or you just do first one was the webcam or screencast, or you just do the webcam. I'm just doing the webcam because that's all I need. Anyways, so I wanted to also send a quick little note. These drinks that my sister's been giving me, these drinks that buying for me. I was like, there's other places that are specialty stores, and even inside of the specialty stores are specialty products, right? That are like, we're only selling at this one location, right? So it doesn't get it, like one location, right? And it's called Crazy D's prebiotic drinks, right? They're really good. The one I love everything one I've been given. She bought them because I was like, I'd get them, but I don't know what store is offering them right now. And I was like, I had been lazy on where they were selling them, and I found out just a few days ago, they're selling them at Sobeys. Now, I don't know if they're going to be selling it at Sobeys in the United States yet, but Sobeys in Canada, all across Ontario, at least so far, is what it is, right? So, especially with like beer, the local towns that have beer brew pubs and stuff, right? A couple of years ago, Canmore started out with a little brew pub, right? In their own, like, to brew these really, really good drinks. And he came out and he said, and they were like, they're selling it all over the town. Like, in Banff, you can buy a bunch of them if you want. There's a bunch of buy them in any whatever restaurants. They're growing a bit. And then just recently, about a year or so ago, they found out in Edmonton, there's a show that you can go to. I don't know if it's for every general public, but it might be for like, you're a member of the bar, of a bar, well-known bar, a brew pub, and you want to go and promote it, right? Like CES would be like, hey, I'm not the owner or CEO of the company, but I'm a representative, right? And I'm going to be helping people understand these products, right? So you might be like, oh, a representative, go to the show, and it's just like, you bring a bunch, like a keg of your own drink of what you got, or kegs of what drinks you're going to provide, and then you just have like these little drinks. Everyone goes to test. Now, obviously, make sure. It doesn't seem like a lot when you go through 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 10 or 11, 12 or 15 studios booths. But, it's a lot of drink to have still. It's like that much of drink, right? So, but yeah, they go there. And in Edmonton, there's this place. I don't know what the name of the restaurant is. But in Edmonton, there's a place where they sell Canmore Brewing Pub or Canmore Lager, whatever. Yeah, and I'm pleased. It's how you grow. Like Coors Light didn't just go start up yesterday. And go, hey, we're a brand, and they like 25 some plus years ago, 30 years ago plus they started it and go, oh, okay, we go to a local city, go to a local province or state, and then, because it's American, right? State, then you go to the country, then you go to around the world, and then you go from there. So this is a big step. I'm going to congratulate them if they get to see this one. I don't know. But in this video, but anyways, I should edit it, end that video, and sometimes, I just leave it as that. So I think got a minute, this video, look at this recorder here, only has 15-minute time slots to record. Only got less than a minute now. I'm going to edit this in the VSDC. Anyways, I just want to update you on that stuff, and, I'll come back and, this may be where the end of the whole thing, so I was just going to give more on it. It'd be really nice to do, like, a cam with a Mentor Pilot or Captain Joe. Speaking of Captain Joe, he did a video on Instagram today, and he was sending out these little, like, remove before flight, little keychain tags. And he happened to have someone who lived 25 kilometers from where he lives in Munich. And so he drove biked all the way there and all the way back. So it was pretty cool. Check that out on Instagram, Fly with Captain Joe. Anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.